the parts store this morning. Gotta get some parts. And here we are. Parts store this morning and picked up some brake pads. Gonna do the brakes on that white Chevy truck out there. And this is a 2000 Chevy half-ton. It actually is four-wheel drive, even though it doesn't really look like it. They were complaining that it would make a squeaking noise when braking, which I'll show you why. Where I really noticed it, just driving at about 10 feet, was this back wheel, and you can see the rotor. Maybe you can't see with this bright light. I'm not sure which way is best, but that rotor has got some pretty good grooves in it. That front pad looks like it's got some pad left on it, but I imagine the inside pad is pretty much shot. It sounds like metal on metal, so we'll pull these off here, see what we have. I have pads for front and rear. We're going to replace them all. Okay, so now it's the middle of the afternoon. I got a little sidetracked there, but I'm going to get to work on this truck and I'm going to get the brake pads replaced. I'm going to start off on the rear. I don't know if I'm going to start on the right side, left side. They're all getting replaced. So first thing I gotta do is get this jacked up in the air, get the wheel off. The next thing we need to do is loosen up these two bolts. There's one there and one, I don't know, it's down under here. And these are 12 millimeter. We're going to loosen those up and we'll get the caliper off of here. Decided to use some air tools. Maybe. Maybe not. Can't get to it. Looks like I can get to the bottom one with an air tool, but up here I don't have enough room between the leaf springs, so I have to use a wrench. Actually, I might use a wrench on both of them. That came off pretty easy. out, the caliper should come off now. Pads are staying on. 1 second. Use a little persuasion here. One thing you don't want to do is let the caliper just hang by the brake hose, so we'll just stick it up there for right now. Actually, get these pads off, see what they look like. That pad's still got meat on it, although it's rusty. It looks like it hasn't been functioning properly. Inside pad is completely gone. You can see that there is. It's just metal on metal. So the new pads also come with hardware. Put these on, and just going to replace the old ones that were on there. These would probably work fine, but I'm going to put the new shiny ones on. Hopefully things will slide around a little bit better. It looks like this outside pad was probably hanging up and not really getting used a whole lot. The inside of this rotor is really thin. They're wanting to do this as cheap as possible. It really should be replaced. How well you can see it, but this inside, the inside of this rotor is really thin. And it's getting pretty hot down here, but they're wanting to do this just as cheap as possible. They don't want to spend hardly any money on it, so I don't think they're going to want to put rotors on it. He's away. I can't get a hold of him right now. So I'm going to put new pads on it. I'll let them know these rotors need replaced, and then it's in their court. If this was mine, this for sure would be getting replaced, but being that I can't get a hold of the owner and they don't really want to spend any money on this, I'm going to put pads on it. I'm going to clean the surfaces all up, and hopefully it'll run for a while. This hardware in here. Maybe. Alright, got the inside pad on, the outside pad on. Caliper back on. We'll see if that'll work. And actually there is more hardware inside here, which would be this piece, and we might as well replace that as well, just like that. Then we'll get the caliper back on here. It should just go right back on, like so. Tighten those up and we'll be done with this side. That should do it. This side, new pads, really needs a new rotor. We'll get the wheel back on this side and I'm gonna get the other side done. Putting these lug nuts on reminds me, if you watched the video when I did the fuel pump in my wife's old Tahoe a few videos ago, I took the driver's side rear wheel off and I didn't torque the lug nuts back on. In fact, I didn't tighten them very good at all because I thought I was going to have to take the wheel back off again, which I didn't, and then I forgot about it. Well, we got up to the cabin and I went and drove it to, I picked up my brother-in-law from the tractor pull and so forth. Anyway, I started hearing this strange noise. Long story short, the wheel was about ready to fall off. All but one of the lug nuts were tight. The rest of them you could spin off with your fingers. Torque your lug nuts. spec is on these to torque them to. I'm going to torque them to about 105 and just a little bit more. So I got this side done. I'm gonna go on over to the other side and get that rear one done. So I got the back all done, moving up to the front. I've got the center cap off. About ready to take this wheel off. Should be about the same thing. It's just calipers and pads. So on these front ones, I think the pads are a little bigger, calipers look a little bigger. And instead of a 12mm bolt back here, we have a, well, it's a bolt, but it's got a T55 Torx head on it. So we'll get them off of here. Had to use a piece of pipe here on the end of my wrench to break these loose, but I got them. There's the bolt that holds the caliper on. Okay, so we got the top and bottom bolts out. Top, bottom. Now this caliper should come off. There we go. Fronts are dual piston calipers. Where I'm going to set this for sure. Give you much room here. That ought to work. Pull these front pads out, which look like that one's pretty glazed over. And that one's out. These still have some meat left on them, but they look like they're pretty. Got my fan on back here, so if the sound quality isn't very good, that's why. These, however, didn't come with the mounting hardware, so I'm just going to clean these up real good and then slap the new pads on. Alright, got the pads on, I gotta collapse the caliper, we'll get it put on, and this will be done. Okay, got the caliper back on, pads on. I put the wheel back on. Passenger side front done, both rears done. Gonna do the driver's side front and then take it for a little drive, see if the noise is gone. It's been a beautiful day here in central Iowa today. Not overly hot, not windy, pretty sunny. Temperatures probably in the middle 80s. So I'm gonna get the other side over there done and I'll have this job finished up. Moxie's just full of vigor again. It's the next morning. I ran out of battery juice last night. I was just about done with that truck, gonna finish up the video. I didn't have any battery left, so I'm finishing it up this morning. Got that truck all done, the brakes are done. I took it for a little drive and everything seems to be just fine. Got this truck back in the shop. I do believe I am finally going to get these license plates hung up today, up here on the license plate wall. And if you have a license plate or anything else for that matter that you would like to send to the Fox Shop, the address is in the description below. So just need to clean up a few little things around here, put things away. Changing disc brakes, changing the pads out is not that difficult, and like I said, those rotors really should have been replaced, but we were doing it on the cheap, or they didn't want to spend any money on it. So we're going to roll with that, and hopefully it will run for a while. So that's going to do it for this video. Give it a thumbs up, comment down below, subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.